Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast, where we help you take your English skills to the next level. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're diving into a topic that's on everyone's mind: how to speak fluent English in 2025. Whether you're just starting or have been learning English for a while, this episode is packed with tips and insights that will help you improve faster than ever before.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Hi, everyone. Learning to speak English fluently might feel like a big challenge, but it's absolutely possible. In 2025, the tools and resources available are better than ever, making fluency more achievable for people from all backgrounds. Today, we'll share practical strategies, the latest trends, and even some personal stories to inspire and guide you.
Exactly. And if you're wondering why English fluency is so important right now, stick around. We've got some exciting insights coming up. Before we dive in, though, remember to subscribe to our channel for more episodes like this one, and don't forget to share your progress in the comments. We love hearing from you.
Let's get started. Jason, why don't we begin by talking about why fluency in English is such a game changer in today's world?
So, let's talk about why fluency in English is such a big deal, especially as we head into 2025. English isn't just a language anymore, it's a global tool. It's used in business, education, travel, and even for connecting with people on social media. Being fluent in English can open doors to opportunities that might otherwise feel out of reach.
That's so true, Jason. For example, think about job markets. Many multinational companies list English fluency as a must-have skill. It's not just about understanding. It's about being able to communicate your ideas clearly and confidently in a way that connects with others.
Absolutely. And it's not just about work. Traveling becomes so much easier when you can speak English. Whether you're asking for directions in Paris, ordering food in Tokyo, or meeting new friends at an international event, English helps you feel more connected wherever you go.
And let's not forget the social aspect. A lot of the world's movies, books, podcasts, like this one, and even trending videos on platforms like YouTube and TikTok are in English. Being fluent means you can enjoy these without feeling like you're missing out.
Exactly. Fluency isn't just about knowing a language, it's about using it as a bridge to new experiences, cultures, and ideas. And here's the good news. In 2025, the resources to achieve fluency are better and more accessible than ever before.
That's why this episode is so important. We're going to show you how to make the most of those resources and take real steps toward fluency. But first, let's talk about the barriers learners often face and how to overcome them.
Now, let's dive into one of the biggest questions. Why do so many learners struggle to become fluent in English? Julia, what's one common challenge you've noticed?
Oh, there are quite a few, but the first one has to be the fear of making mistakes. Many learners feel embarrassed or shy when they try to speak, especially in front of others. They worry about their pronunciation, grammar, or whether they'll be understood at all.
That's such a common one. And it's important to remember, making mistakes is part of learning. If you're not making mistakes, you're not growing. But I get it. It can feel intimidating.
Exactly. Another big barrier is not having enough practice. Many learners focus on reading and writing, but don't spend enough time speaking or listening to English in real-life situations.
Right. It's like trying to learn to swim by reading about swimming. You need to actually jump into the water. Speaking regularly, even if it's just to yourself or with a language partner, is key to fluency.
And let's not forget about time. A lot of people struggle to fit English practice into their daily routine. With work, school, and other responsibilities, it can feel like there's no time left for language learning.
That's where consistency comes in. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference if you stick with it. Another challenge I've heard about is relying too much on translating from your native language instead of thinking in English. This slows down your response time and makes conversations harder.
Yes, thinking in English is a skill that takes time, but it's so worth it. Lastly, there's the issue of resources. Some learners don't have access to good materials or feel overwhelmed by too many options online.
That's a great point. In 2025, there are more tools than ever, but knowing which ones to use and how to use them effectively is crucial. We'll get into that in a bit, but first, let's talk about actionable steps to overcome these barriers and start building fluency. All right, we've talked about the barriers, but now it's time to focus on solutions. Julia, let's start with one of the most important steps for building fluency: consistency. What are your thoughts on this?
Consistency is everything, Jason. Even if you only practice for 15 or 20 minutes a day, doing it every day makes a huge difference. For example, you can start your morning by listening to a short English podcast or reviewing new vocabulary during your lunch break.
Absolutely. And speaking of podcasts, you're already taking a great step by listening to this one. Another tip is to create a routine. Find a specific time each day for English practice, so it becomes a habit.
Another powerful step is to immerse yourself in the language. You don't have to live in an English-speaking country to do this. Surround yourself with English by watching TV shows, listening to music, or even setting your phone's language to English.
That's a great tip, Julia. And don't just consume English. Interact with it. Try to mimic phrases you hear in TV shows or repeat sentences from podcasts. This helps with pronunciation and intonation.
Exactly. And if you can, find a speaking partner. It could be a friend, a tutor, or even an online language exchange partner. There are so many apps and platforms that connect language learners these days.
Yes, but what if someone doesn't have a partner to practice with? Here's what I recommend. Practice speaking to yourself. Describe what you're doing, narrate your day, or even have imaginary conversations. It may feel a bit strange at first, but it's an excellent way to build confidence.
Another practical step is using technology. In 2025, we have incredible tools at our fingertips, like AI-powered language apps that provide real-time feedback on your pronunciation and grammar. Apps like these make it easy to identify and fix mistakes.
And let's not forget flashcards. Apps like Anki or Quizlet are fantastic for memorizing vocabulary. But don't just learn individual words. Focus on phrases and sentences. This way, you'll know how to use the words in context.
Great point. Also, learners should try shadowing. It's when you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say immediately, copying their tone and rhythm. It's one of the best exercises for improving fluency.
Another thing that's often overlooked is thinking in English. Start small. Try naming objects around you in English, or planning your day in your head using simple sentences. Over time, this habit will make speaking more natural.
And Jason, we can't ignore the importance of setting goals. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, so break it down into smaller, achievable goals. For example, aim to learn 10 new words a week or have one conversation in English by the end of the month.
That's right. And remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. Celebrate your achievements and don't compare your journey to others. Everyone learns at their own pace.
Well said, Jason. With these steps, anyone can make real progress toward fluency. Next, let's talk about some exciting trends and tools in 2025 that can make this journey even easier.
Now, let's explore some of the exciting trends and tools available in 2025 that are making it easier than ever to achieve English fluency. Julia, what's the first trend that stands out to you?
One trend I'm really excited about is the rise of AI-powered language learning apps. Apps like ChatGPT, for instance, are now integrated with personalized learning features. They can simulate real conversations, give instant feedback on pronunciation, and even help learners practice specific topics.
That's a game changer. Another trend I've noticed is virtual reality, VR, for language learning. Imagine putting on a VR headset and practicing English in a simulated environment, like ordering food at a cafe in London or having a business meeting in New York. It makes learning interactive and fun.
Absolutely. And for learners who love social interaction, there are more online communities and platforms than ever before. Websites like Italki, HelloTalk, and Tandem connect you with native speakers or other learners for language exchange. You can also join discussion groups on platforms like Discord or Reddit to practice writing and get feedback.
That's a great point, Julia. Another tool that's growing in popularity is advanced speech recognition technology. Many apps now analyze your pronunciation and give you detailed suggestions for improvement. It's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
And let's not forget gamified learning. Apps like Duolingo and Memrise have become even more engaging in 2025, offering challenges, rewards, and interactive storytelling to keep learners motivated. Gamification makes learning feel like a fun game instead of a chore.
That's so true. Another trend is microlearning. People are embracing short, focused lessons that fit into their busy lives. For example, learning a single phrase, idiom, or grammar rule in just 5 minutes during a coffee break.
Yes, and podcasts like this one are a great part of microlearning. Listening to bite-sized lessons or discussions while commuting or exercising makes learning easy and accessible.
Another powerful resource is adaptive learning platforms. These platforms use AI to track your progress and customize lessons based on your strengths and weaknesses. They make sure you're always learning at the right level for you.
And lastly, there's the trend of creating your own content. Learners are now encouraged to make videos, write blogs, or even host mini podcasts in English. It's a great way to practice and build confidence while sharing your journey with others.
The tools and trends of 2025 make one thing clear. If you're willing to put in the effort, the resources are there to help you succeed. And speaking of success, let's wrap up with some motivation to keep you moving toward your fluency goals. Before we wrap up, let's talk about something that every learner needs: motivation. Julia, what would you say to someone who's feeling discouraged about their English fluency journey?
I'd say this: fluency is not a destination, it's a journey. Every single word you learn, every sentence you practice is a step forward. Don't be too hard on yourself. Progress may seem slow at times, but it's happening. Trust the process.
That's such an important reminder. I think it's also helpful to remember why you're learning English in the first place. Maybe it's for a job, travel, or to connect with people from around the world. Keeping that reason in mind can keep you motivated when things get tough.
Absolutely. And don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Celebrate your small wins, whether it's understanding a new word, having a short conversation, or finishing an English podcast episode like this one.
Right? It's also okay to take breaks when you need them. Language learning is like a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistency, not perfection. And remember, mistakes are proof that you're trying.
Another thing to keep in mind is that fluency isn't just about speaking perfectly, it's about communicating effectively. If you can share your ideas and understand others, you're already on the right track.
Exactly. And don't forget to enjoy the process. Watch your favorite movies in English, listen to music, and find ways to make learning fun. The more you enjoy it, the more natural it will feel.
To everyone listening, you've got this. Learning a new language is one of the most rewarding things you can do. Keep going, stay consistent, and remember, we're here to support you every step of the way.
Well said, Julia. And with that, we'll wrap up for today. Remember, fluency is within your reach. Take small steps every day, and soon you'll look back and see how far you've come.
Thanks for joining us. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and practical steps to help you speak fluent English in 2025.
Remember, fluency is achievable for everyone, and with the right mindset, tools, and consistent effort, you can reach your goals. Just take it one step at a time.
If you found today's discussion helpful, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends who are also learning English. And we'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge with fluency? Leave a comment or send us a message with your thoughts.
Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll dive into another exciting topic to help you on your English learning journey. Until then, keep practicing, stay motivated, and enjoy the process.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time on the English Learning Podcast.